What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3Tier, and I got another episode of the People's Questions for you, episode 68. First, I'd like to thank all of you out there who sent in your questions this week. I got a really great number of questions, and they were all uniquely different, so I was able to kind of spread my thoughts around to kind of see exactly what you guys are all into. So without further ado, here your questions are. First question comes from Juggernaut100, and your question was a bit long, but I was able to sum it up to, if I had the opportunity to go to Mars and live there for the rest of my life, would I take that opportunity? And my answer is no, simply because Mars really, when you think about it, the idea of living on another planet sounds cool because for the majority, all of humanity has lived on Earth. But if you really think about it, Mars is really just a big desert. I mean, there's no real water. It has tons of superstorms, and I can't really see any real beauty in living in a total dead desert planet. I mean, I've been living in a desert for almost 20 years, so the landscape on Mars would be nothing I haven't already seen before. So, no, that's why I wouldn't go to Mars. Good question, though. Next question comes from Mike Styles, and your first question is, have I ever had a supernatural experience? I personally have never had one before, but someone I live with has, and basically what their experience was they supposedly had an imaginary friend, and when we asked them who, it turned out that they said it was my grandfather, who actually died a little bit before they were born. So it was a bit strange how this person could identify who my grandfather was, even though they had never met them. We just kind of showed her a picture of him that she had never seen and says, oh, that's him. So I guess that's an example of a supernatural experience. Your next question is, am I still going to E3 2013? You know, I actually just recently sent in my credentials to attend E3 this year. In order to get in, you have to send them a copy of your business card, a photographic ID, and a couple of examples of your work. Now, for those of you who don't know, I've actually been writing up articles and movie and video game reviews for a local newspaper, so I sent a couple of those examples in, and if they like what they see, then I will certainly be going to E3 this year. And so I'm actually keeping track of my email every single day. I sent it like a couple of days ago, so as soon as I get a response back of whether I've been accepted or not been accepted, I will sure do a video giving you guys either the good or bad news. The next question is, do I plan on seeing The Purge? You know, I actually just saw that trailer yesterday, and personally, it looks really interesting. The idea that, you know, you have a real happy life 364 days of the year, and yet one day of the year crime is completely legal, so you have to kind of lock down your house and make sure that no one gets in. And so it looks like the idea of you let someone in who shouldn't be in your house, and now you have to keep whoever is trying to kill this person from getting in your house and killing you in the process. So I think there's going to be a really good horror survival element thrown in this movie, and I actually didn't have anything planned for the 31st of this month, so thanks for recommending me that, because now I do. The next question comes from Nico Hanen, I hope I said that right, and you want to know have I ever been to Switzerland? No, I've never actually been to Switzerland, but I actually have a bit of news in terms of that kind of area. This isn't 100% confirmed, but there is a good chance I will be going overseas to Belgium for Christmas. Now, this is just speculation. It's not 100% confirmed, but my mom said that we might be going over there for Christmas this year, so if that is the case, then this will be the first time I've actually left the country since I arrived in this country over 20 years ago. So, no, I've never been to Switzerland, but I may be going to Belgium by the end of the year. Next two questions come from Criticism Guy 2009, and you want to know, do I think they should put an end to the Fast and Furious movie series? You know what? It's a franchise, you gotta make money, and from what I've heard, they'll be ending it with the 7th one, and it looks like Jason Statham is gonna be the bad guy for that film, and there's supposedly gonna be an end credit scene at the end of Fast 6. So I don't think you need to worry about the franchise ending, because I think it's going to end with the next installment. That'll hopefully be the last and the final installment that we have for the Fast and Furious series. The next question is, who is my favorite Let's Play commentator on YouTube? And you mentioned a certain girl, and I might do a video talking about her, because I actually have a bit to say about her channel. Nothing negative, but I actually don't really have a favorite Let's Play commentator, because I really don't watch other people play video games all that much. I mean, really, out of anyone that I've ever seen, there's only 2 people I've actually seen a couple of their Let's Plays, and that would be the girl that you mentioned and Rachel Moore, who's a or I think her Let's Play videos are a little bit more interesting, but, you know, I don't get the chance to watch all of them, so I really can't pick who, because, you know, they're not really all that enjoyable, in my opinion. They're not bad videos, they're just, you know, I can't really stand watching other people play video games for a long period of time when I have the game myself. Next question comes from Japapino. I hate saying this. Japapino 10. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to get your name right. And you want to know, basically, you had a bit long question, but you want to know what are my thoughts of them adding Deathstroke into a future movie, or making a movie based around Deathstroke. Is he an interesting character to have his own movie? I think Deathstroke is a bit one of those underrated heroes, and I think that making a movie for him would, in my opinion, give him like some much needed attention. However, I wouldn't necessarily like to see him take on a mainstream hero. I personally would like to see him be like the main villain for like a less known team, like maybe taking on the Teen Titans, because for those of you who haven't read the comic books, Deathstroke's been actually known for being a pretty worthy adversary to all the Teen Titans. So I think if they made a Teen Titans movie, I would surely like to see him be one of the main villains. But if they did want to put him in a mainstream movie against a mainstream hero, I could only see him as being maybe a side villain. I can't really see him in the position as like a main villain, because he kind of has that presence of someone like, say, Deadshot or Deadpool. I mean, Deadpool seems like he might get his own movie, but that's because he has such a massive fan base. So that's my thoughts on Deathstroke. The next final two questions come from Fortrix Mega Man, and you first want to know, what do I think about Lobo and Batgirl being in DLC for Injustice Gods Among Us? I think Lobo and Batgirl are really good choices. Lobo, I don't really know too much about Lobo, but I do know a lot about Batgirl, and I think she has I've seen the gameplays. She certainly has enough unique tactical attacks that make her different from Batman and Nightwing, although you can definitely see some of the similarities. There's just much more of a different vibe of her particular character as apart from some of the like Nightwing or Batman. So I think those DLC characters are great, and I hope they keep adding them. I would actually expect like maybe another 4 more DLC characters, maybe 8. Like sky's the limit here, people. There's so many great characters that I think would do well in a fighting game. And the last question is, if I could pick 2 more DC characters to be DLC, who would they be? Oh, that's a good one. I actually thought that Robin would be a good DLC character, but then I thought about it, and Nightwing has the ability to switch his two sticks into like one whole rod, which is kind of how Robin would fight. So if I had to think about it, I would have to just add the 2 characters that were on my top 10s list that weren't added, and they were Martian Manhunter and Cheetah. I think there's not enough technical fighters in terms of the female side. I mean, you do have someone, because you have like, you have Wonder Woman, you have Frost, you have Harley Quinn, you have a number of them, but you don't really have any characters that have that ferocious side to them and have some really serious takedowns. I think Cheetah would be a great addition to that. And the second one would be Martian Manhunter. And actually, recently on IGN, they actually had a poll to see exactly which character you would like to see add to the roster, and I think the highest rated was Martian Manhunter, because if you actually play the Watchtower stage, you actually see him standing in the background, so it makes logical sense to want to add him in it as a fighting roster character, because you see him there in the game, and his model looks just fine. I think he would have a really great number of attacks. And with that, those are the questions you guys sent to me this week. Again, I'd like to thank all of you guys for your questions. And like always, if you have any more questions that you would like me to answer on people's questions, please type them in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to answer them every Friday. And if you like this video, please like, comment down below, and please subscribe. Keep track of me, my future movie, video game reviews, and episodes of the people's questions. And like always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.